What's up, YouTube? It's Oni the Demon Slayer. I've changed it. Not the Demon Lord anymore, it's the Demon Slayer now. But I just wanted to ask a question real quick. I've been thinking about this. Should women be allowed to be patrol officers? Basically, patrol cops. On the beat, dealing with suspects and things like that. Because the whole Dante Wright thing, the woman that shot him, she's supposed to have been on the force for 28 years, but yet she still, in a panic, she didn't realize she had a gun in her hand. She thought she had a taser. She couldn't tell the difference in panic between a gun and a taser. And I just don't think that should be able to happen. That, there's you ought to be able to tell just by feeling of it between the difference between a gun and a taser. She shouldn't even have had it near her gun anyways. Normally cops either have it on their vests right here, they have their taser up high, or they have it on the other side of their hip. That way they don't get them confused. Apparently she had her gun and her taser right beside each other, and that was a dumb move right there. She's a veteran like she's supposed to be. How come she freaked out like she did? She should have been pretty trained after 28 years. I just don't feel like women are equipped enough to handle situations like that. I'm not saying that women can't be cops. I just don't think they should be on the beat dealing with criminals. I think they should be dispatchers or, detectives or, or work as an EMT or a doctor, nurse, stuff like that. I just don't think, just like I don't think women should be allowed to do combat duty in the military. Because I just don't think women can handle the stress of combat and being shot at. And plus, what if about most of their platoon gets shot or wiped out? How are they supposed to carry the wounded back and things like that, like a man would do? A lot of them wouldn't be able to do it. Take a 120-pound woman, she can't carry a 220-pound man. Even if she fireman carries him, she can't carry a 220-pound man. Especially with him being wounded and he's dead weight. No. I just don't see that. And plus, they have to, cut corners on the fitness test for women. They have to, cut it back to where they can pass a lot of the fitness tests in the Army and as a cop. They have to tone it back for women. And that right there, that ain't fair to the other men they're serving with or the citizens that they're supposed to be protecting on the streets. I don't think that's fair, and that ain't good for the other people she's serving with, or the other officers she's supposed to be protecting, or the citizens they're supposed to be protecting. You're having to get stuff reeled back so you can pass a fitness test, then you don't need to do it. Sorry, you just need to go do something else. Not saying you can't be in the military. Maybe you ought to go work in the military in the military hospital, or in a military intelligence office or something like that. If you're smart enough to do it, then go do that. Or go do other things. There's all kinds of things you can do in the military. There's all kinds of little jobs you can have. I just don't think you need to be in combat. Call me a misogynist if you want to, but I just don't, I just am not the type of person that believes that bullshit lie that they try to say men and women are the same. Men and women are not the same. Women are not as strong as men. Even a woman that's pretty good size woman, she still is not as strong as a man that's her same size. You take a 220-pound woman and a 220-pound man, the 220-pound man will outlift that woman even if he's short. Even if he's a little short, he can still outlift her probably. If him and her lift weights and they lift, say they're both in pretty good shape, like they got muscles and shit, and they both, lift a lot of weight. even if the guy's like 5'8" and she's 6 foot, that guy can still outlift her. He's still stronger than her. That's just facts. That's biology. Men's bones are denser. Men can lift more weight. Men have testosterone. Women don't have they have a little bit of testosterone, but not much. Just like men have a little bit of estrogen, but they don't have as much estrogen as women do. Men have a lot lesser testosterone than they used to, and I don't see why they don't try to, boost men's testosterone up. That's one reason I think a lot of men are bitches nowadays. They're too feminine. Because they don't have enough testosterone in their body. Which, two, they're trying to breed men into being a weak, bitchified version of a man. Because, women don't like, a lot of these feminists don't like men that are men. They say everything, they try to act like everything male is toxic. Which that's why I hate feminists. And I don't see how a man can be a feminist, because that right there is a contradiction. You can't be a male feminist. Feminists, well, at least feminists today, are everything that masculinity is against. The feminists are about weakness and trying to be superior to other. They hate men. They're trying to be superior to men. They want superiority, not equality. They already have equality. They want superiority. They try to act like they're the victim all the time. And see, they like things that work for their benefit, like getting in the club for free, being able to sit on their ass and stream with their tits halfway hanging out and things like that. See, that helps them. But anytime they don't maybe get a raise they think they deserve or something like that, that's oppression. They say men are oppressing them. You can't be oppressed. See, this thing I don't get. Women try to act like they're, really oppressed when they're the one, they have tits, ass, and pussy. That's three things that a straight man really wants. And a lot of straight men will bend over backwards to try to make women happy. So how are women oppressed? Men, dance for them, Men will do the dance and act, beg, doggy beg, which... That's men that don't have no self-respect. A real man would not do that shit. Real men do not beg women for sex or beg women for approval. A real man doesn't give a shit. And that actually, in turn, will turn a woman on. Because the more you don't give a shit, the more they like you. The more you don't give a shit, the more you don't need a woman, the more that turns a woman on. Because if you don't need her, that makes her want you. And you shouldn't need a woman to be happy. Just like they say they don't need a man. But here's the thing. Women do need men. That's why a lot of them, by the time they're 40, if they don't have a husband and they don't have no children, by the time they're 40, they're sitting in their house with their 40 fucking cats. Oh, so sad, and crying themselves to sleep a lot of the times. Because they need a man. A woman's just wired that way. They need a man to be happy. They need children to be happy. That's what gives them contentment and fulfillment. Being a mother and being a wife. And you can sit there and try to say, no, it don't. Job, that's why a lot of these women try to get these jobs and try to be a PhD. They think men give a shit about that. Men do not care about that. They don't care if a woman's got a PhD. They want to know if you want to have kids and if you want to get married. That's the kind of shit men care about. They don't give a fuck if you got a PhD. That's the only kind of shit men care about with other men. Like that are their friends. And the only reason men care about that kind of shit is because that's what they need to be a provider for the family and to get women's approval. Which some men now, men should go back to the old way where they didn't give a shit if a woman... they shouldn't care about being with a woman or not. Because that right there, like I said, makes you more attractive. The less you care, the more the woman likes you. Don't care. Don't kiss her ass. Act like you don't give a shit. Like Ramon from Fast Times at Ridgemont High says, it don't matter if she comes, stays, lays, or prays. Whatever happens, your toes are still tapping. And that right there makes a woman, that drives a woman crazy. The less you act like you want her, the more she wants you. So, guys, that's what you gotta do. You gotta act like you don't care. Because the less you care, the more she likes you. So, just, men need to start being more manly. Start trying, to be more manly. Take some self-defense classes. Go learn, take some karate, some jiu-jitsu, some judo, wrestling, things like that. Get a gun, get trained on how to carry and handle the gun. Be a protector, provider. Old school, be a traditional man. And guys should just worry about simple things to make you happy. Like if you like video games, play video games. If you like to play a board game, play a board game. If you like building model cars, working on a real car, working with metal, whatever hobby makes you happy, do that. I wouldn't worry about, like I said, don't worry about a woman, because a woman can't make you no happier than what you already are happy. You guys, you have to make yourself happy. A woman either adds to your happiness or adds to your misery. That's the only two things women will do. A woman can't make you happy if you're miserable. She'll just make you more miserable. If you're already happy and you get a good woman, she'll make you a little bit more happier. She will not make you plumb happy. You have to be happy with yourself before you can even go try to find a woman. Because like I said, a woman's an addition to your life, not your life. You shouldn't be trying to make a woman your life. You should never make another human being your life unless it's like your kids. That's it. That's the only people you should make your life is your children. Because your children will always be your children. Your wife may not always be your wife. So, that's just some words of wisdom there. See y'all. Peace out. Take care of each other.